Welcome everyone, bienvenidos. Thank you very much for joining today on our webinar regarding the British Council Scholarships for Women in STEM. We are going to have a very brief presentation first regarding the scholarship as a whole, and then we have two universities invited today to give more information regarding the courses that they are going to be offering through the scholarship. So we're going to have Bangor University here with us, and we're also going to have representatives from Imperial College London. Before I start the British Council presentation, giving you the overview, I want to leave with you a promotional video that we have done in the Americas to invite all of you to participate from the scholarship.
Si eres mujer,
Se você é mulher,
si eres madre,
Se você é mãe,
si eres hija, si eres hermana,
se eres valiente, se você é inteligente,
e autêntica,
si eres perseverante, si eres apasionada,
se eres rebelde,
si te gustan los retos,
se você quebra os estereótipos,
Si eres de las que persiguen sus sueños,
hasta cumplirlos. Si eres de Colombia, de México,
do Brasil,
de Cuba,
si eres de Perú,
de Argentina, se você é da Jamaica
o de Venezuela,
se você é pesquisadora,
si eres ingeniera,
si lo tuyo es la tecnología,
se você gosta de ciências,
ou los números,
if you speak English,
¿O estás estudiando para mejorar tu nivel en este idioma?
si quieres estudiar una maestría,
mas não tem os recursos para isso,
this message is for you.
Esta invitación es para ti.
Aplica a las becas para mujeres en STEM del British Council.
aplique para as bolsas do British Council para mulheres na área de STEM. Date a oportunidade
De viajar,
conocer,
aprender,
de co-crear, trocar ideias,
Contribuir,
emprender,
crear lazos.
de liderar. Eu tive a oportunidade de estudar no Reino Unido.
And now I invite you to take this opportunity.
e lá você terá uma experiência inesquecível.
Si yo pude hacerlo, tú puedes hacerlo también.
Hoy es el día.
Sem mais desculpas.
sigue,
continúa,
Avanza,
Aplica, aplique.
aplica.
aplica.
Inscreva-se.
Tienes hasta finales de marzo.
Cheque o site do British Council para mais detalhes.
Women
in
in
STEM.
STEM. STEM has no limits.
Fantastic. I hope you liked the video. We're going to move on now to give an explanation of how you can be part of the scholarship. So the first slide. You can also chat on the chat box, and we're going to be leaving all the Q&As for the end of the presentation. After my presentation and after both universities speak, we will be able to answer any questions that you may have. So first of all, giving a little bit of explanation of what is the British Council Scholarships for Women in STEM. This is a scholarship scheme. It is actually an extremely generous scholarship scheme, which 19 first-class UK universities are supporting the British Council with. We're looking for women that already have a background in STEM and are an undergrad, and that they want to be able to continue their studies through a master's program in the UK. We have over 100 scholarships available throughout the 3 regions where we will be working. Slide, please. So first of all, which are the eligible countries? We have the scholarships available in 3 regions. One of them is Southeast Asia. The other region is South Asia. And the region that we're speaking to today through this webinar is the Americas. We have different universities for each of the regions. So that's why I want to explain thoroughly which are the universities that you can apply to and the courses you can apply to if you are from the Americas. Eligible countries here are Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Jamaica, Mexico, Peru, and Venezuela. Slide, please. As I was saying before, this is a very generous scholarship. The package is very complete because we're looking to be able to give opportunities for women that wouldn't be able to go and study a master's degree abroad or into the UK specifically if they wouldn't have this support from the British Council in order to go. So the scholarship covers tuition fees from the universities. It also has a stipend of 15 months. We also offer a pre-sessional English course for those of you that don't have the English level or just might have need a little bit more support with the language in order to study a master's degree. We are also able to cover the exam fees once you are accepted in the short list. And if you have to give the IELTS exam, this would also be able to cover those costs. The scholarship also covers the flight from your home, from your country to the UK and back, and also expenses that may be related to your passport and visa. I think it's also important to highlight that if you are a mother and you have children, you are also able to apply. There are specific support for those of you that wish to or have to travel with your children. So that's also something that makes the scholarship very unique. It's important to go over what is the criteria in order what you require to be eligible to apply. So first of all, you have to be a woman. You have to be a passport holder and also a permanent resident of any of the eligible countries I mentioned before. You have to be admitted to one of the master's programs that are being offered by the 8 universities that are working together with the British Council in the Americas. And you have to have completed already an undergrad studies that would allow you to apply to this master's degree. Slide. It's also important that the scholarship is trying to give opportunities to those women that haven't had the opportunity of studying abroad. Therefore, another eligibility criteria is that you haven't studied a degree before in the UK. You also have to be able to meet the English language, as I mentioned before. If you have already a very good English level, but maybe not exactly enough to be able to participate in the master's course, there is pre-sessional English course that you can attend in order to reach that level needed. It is also important that you will be asked by universities to demonstrate the need of financial support. We also wish women that are able to participate in the scholarship to commit to going back to their home country in order to promote and continue working as an ambassador to other women and girls to pursue studies in STEM. Slide. It's also important to highlight that you would not be eligible to apply if you have a dual citizenship. So you have the British citizen, you are a British citizen, you would not be able to apply. If you are an employee or a former employee, or you have a family that is employed by a British embassy or by the British Council, for instance, or if you have been already supported with financial support from another agency to be able to study in the UK already, or if you have already previously studied in the UK. These are the aspects that would not allow you to apply to the scheme in this opportunity. Slide. I would like to go over specifically what the scholarship looks like in the Americas. So, for instance, these are the 8 eligible countries I mentioned before, and these are the people that are joining today in this webinar. Should be from one of these countries, because this webinar is concentrating specifically on the 8 countries from the Americas. And the 8 universities that are working in the Americas with the 8 countries mentioned before are these universities: Imperial College, Bangor University, Cranfield, Durham, Robert Gordon University, University of York, University of Bristol, and Wolverhampton University. In the specific webinar that we are offering today, we have the opportunity of having with us academics and professionals from the Bangor University and Imperial College London. So I would like to remind you that you are how to apply. Just a short explanation of how you can apply. It's very important that you're able to visit our website. There's a central website that we'll be publishing on screen. In that website, you will have information from all 3 regions, and specifically as well from the regions of the Americas. You will have the web pages from each university, and also the emails where you can contact each university if you wish to have more information. It is very important for you to check those web pages because it will give you the list of courses that each university is offering for you to apply. It is also important to highlight that each university might have their own requirements that might differ from one university to another, and also it might differ from one course to another. I would also like to highlight that we don't have a specific closing date for the scholarship because each university might be closing at a different time. Therefore, I encourage you to visit each of the websites in order to see when they will be closing. I would like to say, though, that most universities are going to be closing the scholarship mid to the end of March. So you still have 3 weeks probably to apply. So I encourage you to be able to apply as soon as possible. Today we are in the first webinar, which is Imperial College London and Bangor, but we will be having other webinars tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and on Thursday. So I did want to send out that information today before going to Bangor and Imperial College. So you will be able to find us on our Facebook pages of the Americas. So that is the overview of the scholarship from the British Council. I would like to now leave room for the people who are joining us from Bangor University. So we have Peter Sharp and also Marcela Portocosta that will be sharing with you now. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. So my name is Peter Sharp. I am the Regional Manager for the Americas. Now, we've got loads of information on the website, and it can tell you about all the courses that you can apply for and gives you full information on the scholarship. So rather than me telling you about the nitty-gritty details that are on the website, I thought it'd be really good for you to get the insights of one of our current students, Marcela, who is here today to share her experience. So really this is for you to engage directly with Marcela, who's got a really fascinating story and has very kindly agreed to enjoy us. So Marcela, please do share your
hello
story.
everyone. I am Marcela. I am originally from Brazil. and I came to Bangor to do my post-graduation in environmental science. So just to share a little bit my experience and how it's to change countries, to live here. But when I'm talking, please feel free to send your questions and I will try to address them. So first of all, Bangor, it's located in Wales, in the UK. It's a small city, but it's surrounded with a very, very beautiful nature. So we are close to the Snowdonia Park, the National Reserve, and it's very beautiful for making different walks, hiking. There are so many mountains and lakes, and also there are some beaches around that you can go, and it's very, very beautiful. It's close to some big cities in the UK, such as Liverpool or Manchester. You can arrive easily by train. So it's a lot of things to do here, and I've been busy most of my time. Bangor is full of international people, so you probably will meet so many different people around here. And it's very exciting. It's always about meeting someone from a different country, and it's very, very interesting. So also Bangor has different societies. So I've tried so many of them. So for example, I've tried already horse riding, I tried gymnastics, volleyball, trampoline, so tennis, it's a dance society. So all different sorts of sports or societies you can join, and everything is for free. So you can make a very, very, very different, you can make many friends from different backgrounds. And I'm sure that 1 year will fly very, very fast because it's so much things to do. And also I really like that I can find a lot of support from the university. So there's so many support in different lines. For example, when you're close to your graduation, you can shape your CV or learn how to do your CV in a better way. You can have entrepreneurships training, or there's the employability skills department. They're very helpful as well. So it's very, very exciting to be here. And I really would like to share some more of my experience with you. I have an Instagram with just pictures of this beautiful place. It's called Bangor and Wales. If you feel free to find and follow, and you can spy on some very beautiful pictures around here. So do you have any questions about it, about my life experience? Just feel free to write it down on the chat.
Some people are asking specifically about some questions, but is it possible that we leave them for the end? Would that be okay with Bangor?
It's great.
Yes. So thank you very much, Marcela, for sharing your experience and being able to give a little bit of a view to everyone that would be interested in studying in Bangor, what life and day-to-day things you can live in Bangor. I would like to leave now the colleagues from Imperial College London that are here with us today. So Helen Carter and Catherine Ernst are here. So I'll leave the floor to you so that we can all address the Q&A.
Brilliant, thank you. Thanks a lot for joining us today. So yes, my name's Catherine, work for Imperial, and Helen works specifically in the business school. So we're going to give you an overview about Imperial, kind of generally some of the highlights of what it's like to be a student with us, and kind of highlight the different programmes on offer that are covered by the scholarship, and then we'll be really happy to answer your questions. So starting off with the presentation, so on to the next slide, please, just give you a bit of idea about our community. So we're quite a specialist institution, quite unique in the UK, being solely focused on science, engineering, medicine and business. So hopefully this is a really nice fit for this scholarship for the British Council. It's all about women in STEM, and really STEM is what we are all about. Next slide, please. And speaking of kind of supporting women in STEM, just to highlight the different initiatives on offer at Imperial. So we have her Imperial pages. Please do take a look at those and hear about some of our alumni and student stories. And then, of course, coming up with International Women's Day in March, we have a whole range of programs on offer where we support our female students and staff, kind of empowering them. So just to give you an idea of the kind of support out there. Next slide, please. So in terms of kind of who we are, so I said we're specialists, we're also pretty good at what we do. So whether you're looking at kind of international or UK rankings, you'll generally find us in the top 10, often the top 5 of most rankings. Next slide, please. And yep, overall rankings can be important, but I like to highlight a couple of rankings that I think kind of speak about us as an institution. And one of those is the fact we are the UK's most innovative university. So this is kind of part of the ethos of entrepreneurship and innovation that runs through campus. And I'll talk a bit more later about how you as a student can get involved in those, no matter which degree you're actually studying. Next slide, please. And speaking of kind of innovations and pushing boundaries, obviously at the moment, unfortunately, you can't go very far without thinking about the pandemic, but just how innovative Imperial is, you can see how we're responding to the pandemic in all sorts of ways. So across the college, we really are at the forefront of the fight against COVID-19, whether that's our scientists and our epidemiologists providing advice and guidance around policy making internationally as well as national, our own vaccine team developing their own vaccine with the RNA technology, ventilator reduction, really across the university, we are very much at the heart of the fight against the disease. Next slide, please. I also like to highlight how international we are as well. So over half of our student population come from outside the UK, and that's from over 135 different countries. So it really means for you as a student, you're getting an internationally relevant degree studying with us. So you're getting ideas and perspectives from across the globe coming into the classroom through your peers, your student peers, and our academics as well. We also collaborate widely as well. So it really means that when you graduate with us, you're going to get a degree that is very much transportable, will mean that you really can go kind of anywhere in the world afterwards. Next slide, please. So we are very global, we are very international, but we are based in the heart of London. We're very proud of that, and that is a massive part of being a student with us. So our largest campus is based in South Kensington. Some of the programmes that are covered by the scholarship would be based out at Silwood Park, which is slightly outside of London due to the nature of the type of degree you're studying. But you still have lots of benefits of being so close to the city. You know, has kind of heard of London, you might have heard of some of the big museums like the Victoria and Albert Museum, the Natural History Museum, places like Hyde Park, and they are literally on your doorstep when you're studying with us. So a really lovely cultural area to be in as part of your experience of being a student. But also thinking about more long-term, thinking about kind of networking and your career in the future. London is a brilliant place to think about that, as it's headquarters to many international companies as well as British companies. So really it's a good opportunity to think about developing those networks for your future career, as well as having a fantastic student experience as well. Next slide. So I mentioned we're a specialist institution, so we do focus on engineering, medicine, natural sciences, as well as our world-class business school. But just then now to highlight the programmes that are actually covered by this scholarship. So if we go on to the next slide, please, we'll start with those that are in our engineering faculty. So these include our advanced chemical engineering programme, environmental engineering, hydrology and water resource management, transport, environmental data science, machine learning, and sustainable energy futures. So they're the departments that you'll find these programs in under the engineering faculty. And then moving on to the next slide, please, in our faculty of natural sciences, there are a number of programs in the life sciences department, our chemistry department, and then our Centre for Environmental Policy. Just moving on to the next slide. So in terms of the application side of things, it will depend slightly on which degree you are interested in applying to and where your undergraduate degree is from. So do feel free to reach out to me directly to kind of clarify the kind of entry requirements we're looking for. So I've kind of listed the range here, but it will kind of vary depending on which program you are applying to. In terms of what we're looking at in the application process, we will be looking at those undergraduate transcripts. And if you are still studying, that's fine. What we'll be wanting to see is kind of your academic performance to date and that you're on track to get these kind of GPAs, these scores. As part of the application, you will need to write a statement. So this is why you want to do this program and why basically are you the best candidate to study this program. So really highlighting any relevant experiences you may have had, research, work experience, internships, as well as your motivation. How does this degree fit in with your career aspirations, for example, and why this very particular program at Imperial, as you are applying directly to the program at Imperial. We do also ask for 2 referees, so ask for the contact of 2 referees, and this should be someone who can really comment on your academic ability. So hopefully someone from your undergraduate degree in this area. If you have been working for a while, we will accept 1 professional reference, but we do need at least 1 academic reference to really comment on your kind of ability to study in this area. In terms of all this documentation, we do ask that they are translated into English, so please do be aware of that, and we will need kind of English statements as well from your referees. We don't look at the GRE or GMAT, so it is predominantly based on your undergraduate record, your undergraduate scores. Just in terms of kind of the application for the programs I mentioned, so in order to be considered for the scholarship, you must be holding an offer to study with us by 2 p.m. on the 26th of March. If you haven't submitted an application yet, there is still time, and we are endeavouring to make sure that all the applications are processed in time, but I would really urge you to apply as soon as possible in order for us to process those applications and hopefully get you an offer in time for the 26th of March. There is an application fee, but you can apply for an application fee waiver. So as part of this, please state that you're applying for the scholarship, and as part of that, therefore, you know, that kind of covers the financial means. So please mention the scholarship in the fee waiver application. Okay, I'll now pass it over to Helen to talk more in detail about the business school programs.
Great, thank you, Catherine. Hi everybody, my name's Helen Carter. I'm a student recruitment manager at Imperial College Business School. I'm just going to talk you through briefly around the 2 programs that are covered by this scholarship, specifically within the business school at Imperial. So we have the MSc International Health Management Programme and our MSc Climate Change Management and Finance Programme, and they are both 1-year full-time programmes that start in September each year. Next slide, please. Okay, so to start with, we have our MSc International Health Management Programme, and this programme helps students to secure a management role within the global healthcare sector. So you'll see on the screen here, I've listed some of the modules that you will undertake as part of the programme and the kind of structure of the programme and some of the projects that you will participate in as well. So you'll see the way all of our programs are structured within the business school is you start the program by studying some online pre-study modules online. Everybody will study these, and these will help to get you up to speed in certain areas. So you'll see we have things like a maths primer on there. We have a Foundations for Careers Success module. And this gets you working and engaging with our careers service really early on, so that when you come and start the master's programme within the business school, you can kind of hit the ground running and start using all of the careers resources available. You'll see listed there the core modules, and this programme will start off with the, if you could just go back, thank you. We'll start with the kind of business management related modules, and then we'll go a bit more specifically into the kind of healthcare related modules in the spring term. And then you'll finish it up in the summer term with a business plan competition. You'll also be working on some of your more practical projects that you can see on the top right hand corner of the screen there. There's the opportunity to undertake a work placement as part of the programme as well. Just a note on this, so as Catherine mentioned, You need to be holding an offer by the 2 p.m. on the 26th of March to be considered for the scholarship. Within the business school, we specifically ask that you have submitted your application by midnight on the 7th of March to ensure that we can review your application in time to be considered for the scholarship award. Okay, next slide, please. This slide just gives you a bit of an overview of the employment report of our class of 2019 on the MSc International Health Management Programme. Some of the sectors that our students went to work in, and particular examples of employers. You'll see the NHS on there, Amazon, EY, PwC, KPMG, just some of the examples, and some of the roles are listed there as well. As a student at the business school, you get access to a careers consultant who you work with on a one-to-one basis throughout the programme. And we also have an employer relations team who work with lots of different organisations across different sectors to build up and strengthen relationships with them, and provide networking opportunities to our students, employer presentations, careers fairs and things like that. Okay, next slide, please. And then we have our MSc Climate Change Management and Finance programme. And again, this is a one-year full-time programme. And this provides students with the skills required in business on issues relating to climate change and sustainability. So this programme, we actually partner with the Grantham Institute, which is a hub for climate change and the environment, within Imperial College London. So it's a very interdisciplinary programme. Again, you'll see you start off with your online pre-study modules, and then you work through the programme through your core modules. So everybody will study the same modules on this programme throughout the degree. And then you have the opportunity to work on some more practical projects that you'll see again in the top right-hand corner, business simulation exercise, the opportunity to undertake a consulting project with a real client, or a work placement. And again, the deadline to apply for this programme will be midnight on the 7th of March if you would like to be considered for the scholarship award. Next slide, please. And finally, relating to the business school, this is the employment report for our MSc Climate Change Management and Finance class of 2019 again. So you'll see there the employment by sector, so 33% went to work in consulting, 15% in sustainable and impact investing. You've got some stats there around the percentage of students that were employed within the UK after their degree, the level of employment after the programme within 3 months, and again, some employer examples there, so Boston Consulting Group, the Carbon Trust, Deloitte, listed up there. So again, you'd be working with our careers team closely throughout the year, and networking with different employers and to find out more about the career that you'd like to go on and work in. Just a couple, one more note on this is we do have information sessions running throughout this week actually. So we have an online information session for the MSc Climate Change Management and Finance programme tomorrow at 12 o'clock UK time. And for the International Health Management programme, we have one this Thursday from 12 o'clock until 1:15. So do sign up to those. They're all listed on the business school website if you'd like to find out more. Thank you. I'll pass back to Catherine.
Great, thank you. If we move on to the next slide. So I'll just wrap up by highlighting a few things on offer to you if you're a student with us. So I mentioned about that award for innovation, and that's just a highlight really that no matter which department you are studying in, you can get involved in the enterprise and entrepreneurship going on at Imperial. So you can utilise our hack spaces, for example, so you can kind of prototype and make things, and you can also go along to our enterprise lab and take part in things like mentorship schemes, pitching competitions. We have a female-only entrepreneurship enterprise competition. We innovate, so please do have a look at that. See some of the amazing projects and businesses that have come out of that. So all of this is available to you no matter which programme you're studying. Next slide, please. Also, as a student studying a master's with us, you'd automatically be part of what we call our graduate school. So this is an overarching support body, a support network for all master's and PhD students. So it's a chance to kind of network with other students outside your department and take part in specific training as well. So things like research skill training, presentation skills. So it just kind of supports you in really ensuring you're making the most of your time studying with us. Next slide, please. And really, we do hope that you make the most of your time. So yes, you will be there doing a demanding degree programme, but that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy yourself in other ways as well. So whether that's through our clubs and societies, so we have hundreds of different clubs and societies, cultural, sports, music, as well as obviously making the most of being in London as well. So there's plenty of opportunities to spend your free time in many, many different ways. Next slide, please. And then, of course, kind of I mentioned that sort of long-term thinking. Our career service is certainly there to support you in making the most of your time and thinking long-term as well. So we have careers fairs on campus in normal years, obviously online at the moment. We have an online vacancy service that offers both international and national job vacancies. And this support is available to you for up to 3 years after you graduate, so you can access all these expertise after you do graduate from us. Next slide, please. And just kind of all of this really feeds into the fact that we do have fantastic records when it comes to career prospects for our graduates. So whether that's the employability rate or the starting salaries, really employers do see the graduates from Imperial as highly desirable. So you will be in a fantastic position after you leave. Obviously, no job is guaranteed these days, but we are making sure that we put you in the best possible position. Next slide, please. And just really to kind of leave you with an example of one of our recent graduates who came from Argentina and did one of the programs on offer here for the scholarships. You can see there just kind of her thoughts around her experience of Imperial. So, you know, in terms of that 1 year, how much added value was available to her during her studies. And then final slide from me, please. So just to say, do keep in touch. So Helen mentioned about some of the specific information sessions, so do check out the website. You've heard from us, and do obviously ask us for any questions as well. Kind of feel free to note down the email addresses. We also have a chat to our student scheme as well, so you can actually engage through the website with our current student body as well. So feel free to ask them questions. Otherwise, thanks a lot for listening.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Imperial College, for that presentation. We're going to go now to the Q&A. I have many questions here. They're pouring in. So the first question is actually from Noelia, and also Laura asked the same question. They wanted a little bit more of information to Bangor University, actually, related to family life and accommodation. So I'm not sure if Peter and Marcela can quickly refer to what things can you do in Bangor related to what the situation is with accommodation and family life in general.
Yeah, of course. So at Bangor, it's a fantastic place to bring up your family. There's lots and lots to do. I mean, you'd be able to keep the kids entertained for hours and hours on end. Now, in terms of accessing education, we have a dedicated support team that can help you find the right place for your kids to go to school whilst you're studying. And I don't know if, Marcella, you want to talk a little bit about how you found the local accommodation as well.
Yeah, Bangor has plenty of accommodations, so you can choose. So there are the university accommodations, and I met a lot of people who lived on the university accommodations. I didn't live in the university accommodations, but I had a very good feeling from the people who lived there, and they really make a lot of friends, and they hang out a lot with different people, and they met most of these people in the accommodation as well. So I started to hang out with a group that I just, by one friend, I got friends of everyone who lived with them on the same accommodation, and it was very nice. And I went for private accommodation. There's private accommodation as well. So whatever you like or feel more comfortable. So yeah, you can choose the place, and I really recommend to check the places before, because there's a lot of opportunities in terms of accommodation here.
Perfect. Thank you very much. There's a lot of questions related to the English level. So I know that Imperial had the slide related to approximately what are the English levels that you're requiring. But if both universities can refer to that and also to the pre-sessional English, that I know that many people are concerned because of COVID. Some universities are going to be only offering the pre-sessional English to be online. So maybe if first, if Imperial can go explaining a little bit about the English level and the pre-sessional English, please.
Yes, so we have kind of different English language requirements for different degree programs. You'll see it kind of stated whether it's our standard or our higher level. And then from that on the pages, you can link out to all the different qualifications we accept for proof of English language. So IELTS, TOEFL, various ways of meeting those. The pre-sessional English is going to be online at the moment, and to sort of be accepted onto that, it generally will be you'll be at a level that is slightly lower than the kind of general entry requirements. You still need some proof of English language, so you still need to have IELTS, for example, in order to participate in the 6-week pre-sessional program, to just kind of slightly get you up to the level that we require.
And then from Bangor's perspective, at the moment, the pre-sessional courses are online, and we're going to look to make a decision based on Welsh Government guidance in the near future. In terms of the IELTS level that you need, for the pre-sessional program, it's basically one level below the level required for your master's. So, for example, most of the programs that you see on the website for the STEM scholarship page are IELTS 6.0. So if it's a 6.0, then you need to be at IELTS 5.0 to go on the pre-sessional course, because the maximum amount of time that you can go on a pre-sessional course with us is for 3 months. So if it's a 6.5, then the IELTS level you'll need for the pre-sessional is a 5.5. So do make sure that your English level is going to be at that right level, because ultimately you want to apply for this scholarship having the biggest chance of success, no matter which institution you're applying for. So yeah, do have a think if you're at the right level. If you look at the website, you will find out the various English language tests we accept. And one really important point to stress from Bangor's perspective is that you don't need the English language test to apply. So we can provide you with a conditional offer, and then if you get the scholarship, we can then look at paying for your IELTS test or even a Duolingo test instead. So don't feel that you need to rush out and go and pay for a scholarship test, because for Bangor you don't. I don't know, Imperial, if that's the same for you.
I think it is covered, but I'd have to double check.
Yeah, within the business school, it's okay for you can apply for the program before you've met the English language requirement. And similar, if you're successful in receiving an offer, it would be conditional.
Yeah, that's something to say. I guess I can see there's a lot of questions coming in around kind of pending qualifications, and to us, an offer includes being conditional.
I think one thing I would stress is that all of us, we're here to help. So if you've got questions, reach out and ask us, and we can guide you through it. So don't see stuff as a barrier. If you're not sure, get in touch.
Fantastic, and thank you for referring to the conditional and unconditional offering, because a lot of questions are related to that. I know that each university requires different documents, but maybe if you can go through some of the things that students that wish to apply, what kind of documents will they be able to show to demonstrate financial need? So if maybe Imperial can start, what sort of documents is Imperial asking for?
So around financial need, we're just asking for a statement at the moment, and then maybe follow-up kind of questions afterwards.
Perfect. From Bangor?
Yeah, it's the same for us as well. It's about sort of assessing people on an individual basis and actually looking at different circumstances that may arise. And I guess it'll be the same across all the universities. So yeah, again, it comes back to the fact, if you're not sure, reach out, get in touch, look at the website.
Perfect. This is also a reach out and look at the website question, but I would still like to highlight Imperial has made it very clear that the deadline is the 26th of March to be able to apply, but it is important to keep into account that you will be, we preferably have to be applying beforehand for all documents to be ready by the 26th of March. So the business school is actually saying that the 7th of March should be the deadline, your first deadline to apply. So please, people, apply as soon as possible. So what about Bangor? Approximately when would be the deadline, Peter, if you can share that with us?
Yeah, we've just changed the deadline actually. So the deadline now is the 11th of April. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on the website. And I know I keep saying look at the website, but it's got everything you could possibly need. Now, just to be clear, you don't need to have an unconditional offer to apply for the scholarship. And you don't, just get the conditional offer in. And realistically, the main documents that you need to get a conditional offer are passports. So make sure you've got your copy of your passport, because that shows that you're eligible for the scholarship. Make sure you've got copies of your diplomas and your transcripts from your bachelor's study. Okay, make sure those are there. Make sure you've got your personal statement there as well, so you're actually talking about why you want to do that degree. And then also make sure that you've got references of very being done, or preferably uploaded at the same time. As long as you've got those main documents, then we can start processing and look to give you a conditional offer based on you satisfying the other conditions, such as the English language level. So just focus on getting the bare minimum that you need to be able to apply for the scholarship. So get all those documents ready, and while you're working on the application, also start working on the scholarship, because the moment you get your conditional offer, you can then apply for the scholarship too. So a key date is, let me just look again, 11th of April. And don't feel that you need to have an unconditional offer. It's just the conditional offer.
Fantastic. I'm going to go quickly through some questions that I can answer from the British Council, but please feel free to give more information if you want to give more as well. Patricia had asked, what is the maximum age to be able to apply? It's important to highlight that there is no maximum age in order to apply to the British Council scholarship, so you can feel free to apply. Another question that came in was, are we able to apply next year, or is another type of British Council scholarships going to come up next year related to law, for instance? There is no information regarding this, so we are encouraging everybody to apply this year. We still don't have a guarantee if there's going to be a scholarship related, focused specifically for STEM or for women next year. And even if we did, we would not be able to guarantee which universities would be participating. So if you already have identified a master's degree that you wish to be able to apply to, we strongly encourage you to apply now. One of the things that Peter just mentioned that I think is so important to highlight as well is that sometimes you just have to apply with a bare minimum, and universities will be accepting that with a conditional offer. So that's why reach out, go to the websites and make sure that you're able to apply this year. Some people were asking as well, we have a question from Adriana related to children and fees. As I mentioned before, this scholarship allows women to travel with their children. Now, it is very important to know that the conditions that each universities are giving are different. This also depends because some universities are in cities which are much more expensive than others. Also, the accommodation may change greatly. Some universities are offering, for instance, accommodation in campus. Most campuses don't allow children to be staying there, so they would have, there's other accommodation for women that will be traveling with children, for instance. So it's hard for me to say which are the conditions, because each condition really depends on the university that you will be attending. So as I mentioned before, you are allowed to travel with children, but the conditions change from one university to the next. Some people have asked also about traveling with people from their families in general, or spouses. This also depends. British Council Scholarship does not cover the expenses if you're traveling with somebody else from your family or with your spouse. It only has additional support for mothers traveling with children. So if your husband, for instance, wishes to accompany you, that depends on the visa requirements your country has in order to enter the UK. But there will not be additional support for those people traveling with spouses. There was also a question, and this is for both universities, regarding for those students that are finishing their studies in the next few months and that they still don't have the diploma. I know that Imperial and Bangor have already related and gave a comment about this, but maybe if you can just highlight it once again, of what are the requirements of what's considered a bachelor's degree in order to be able to access one of your master's programs.
Yeah, sure. Just briefly, as long as your transcript shows your education history and that you are on track to graduate by the time that you're going to be coming over here to do your master's at either Bangor or Imperial, that will suffice. It doesn't need to be your final diploma, because if you haven't graduated, we know you won't have that. So please send us what you have. Yeah, you probably need to go on and request an official transcript from your university and send us that. But if in doubt, again, please contact us, because we can help, and we can help you navigate the process, and we can tell you exactly what documents you need. And if there are any problems, we can look at how we can resolve it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd just say that that's the essence, I guess, of the conditional offer. So by applying when you still have qualifications pending, when we give you an offer, we say, yes, you're great. We think you're on track to, meet what we need, but on the condition that you actually finish your degree. So that's really the kind of essence of the conditional offer, is when you are still pending those qualifications.
Fantastic. There's a couple of more questions that I can answer. So people are asking if they can apply to more than one university and also more than one master's program. The answer is yes, you are allowed to apply to more than one university. If you are shortlisted, though, from more than one university, we will probably require you to answer and confirm which university you will be attending as soon as possible. So that is also important to highlight. The answers of when you will be shortlisted and admitted, you will probably have news from universities the second week of May, probably. Those are kind of the dates, approximate dates when you should be contacted if you have been awarded the scholarship. Another question that is coming in, Paula is asking about if you're living in the UK, if you can also apply for the scholarship. The answer is unfortunately no. The scholarship does require you to be a passport holder and also a permanent resident to one of the eligible countries. So if you're living currently in Europe or in the UK, you would not be eligible for this scholarship. We only have a couple of minutes left. I'm not sure if Imperial or Bangor wants to refer to any additional information.
Yeah, can I just sort of re-emphasize? Yeah, so it's really clear, because I can see a lot of questions where people aren't clear on the exact process on how to apply. So the first thing that everyone that's interested in a scholarship needs to do is look at our websites. Okay, so if you're interested in Bangor, look at Bangor's STEM scholarship website. You can just Google it, Bangor STEM scholarship. If you're interested in Imperial, check out their website as well. There's so much information on there, and it's actually a good indication. If you can read that and understand that, then you're probably at the right English level to be able to go on and apply for this award. So it's kind of a good test and a good guide for if you're okay to progress forward. So read the information. If after reading it nothing's clear and you want to get some more support or guidance, contact us and we'll be able to walk you through those steps. Then you want to go and apply. So go onto the university website and fill in the application form, okay, and submit the minimum level of documents that we need to provide you with a conditional offer. And then as soon as you've started the process of applying, start thinking about the scholarship application form. You can't submit the scholarship application form until you have a conditional offer or an unconditional offer from the university. Once you've got that offer, then you can immediately send the scholarship application form in and we'll consider it. Okay, so just that's what you need to do to be able to apply for this award. And just again, any problems, email us.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just to say, ours is just a very slight tweak to that, that you can't apply for the scholarship unless you've submitted an application, but you can be in the process of applying for the scholarship while still applying and not have the offer. But you need to have done that in time that you will have an offer by the 26th of March for us. So really kind of it is simultaneous and as soon as possible.
Thank you. Catherine, could you, some people are asking regarding the £80 fee in order to enroll.
Yes.
I know that you said that it's you can waive that, but can you give more information of how to do that, please?
Yeah, so there's slight differences with the business school, but there is a form that you can fill in that basically you ask for a waiver, and on that you should detail that you're applying on the basis of applying for the STEM scholarship. So there's just this additional form that you need to submit.
Mm-hmm. There's people also asking about the pre-sessional English, that it's very expensive. The scholarship does cover the pre-sessional English. That is for all 8 universities, well, all 19 universities, but also all 8 universities that are applying through the Americas scheme. So the pre-sessional English will be covered, so not to worry. I think most of the questions that are coming in are related to things that we have already answered. And I would like to stress once again, please encourage people to go to the website, the British Council website, and we will also be answering our emails. You can ask further questions to uk.scholarships@britishcouncil.org. But as Peter said, most of the answers to your questions will be in the websites of each of the universities that you are interested in applying to. So thank you so much for joining us today. And as I mentioned before, don't wait anymore, and you have to apply as soon as possible because time flies. And universities are waiting to be able to answer any of the questions that you have, and also receiving your submissions. So thank you so much for joining us today. Bye, everyone. Thank you.